Gopijana-vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopijana-vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jaya Lalita Vishaka Jaya Radhesham, Lalita Vishaka Jaya Radhesham. Jai, Jai, Vishnupada, Paramahamsa, Parivrajaka-acharya, Stotra Sata, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki Jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Jai, Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki, Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhana ki, Ganga Mai ki, Jamuna Mai ki, Mayapur Dham ki, Vrindavan Dham ki, Tulsi Maharani ki, Bhakti Devi ki, Harinam Sankirtan Yagya ki, Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda ki. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Today we have a great fortune to read from Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is. And we are on chapter 18, which is called the perfection of renunciation. So maybe after reading all this, we'll become renunciates. Text 38. So we'll read Sanskrit. Viṣayendriya-saṁyogād yatte agre mṛtopamam pariṇāme viṣam iva tat sukham rājasam smṛtam viṣayendriya-saṁyogād tad agre mṛtopamam pariṇāme viṣam iva tat sukham rājasam smṛtam viṣayendriya-saṁyogād tad agre mṛtopamam pariṇāme viṣamiva tat sukham rājasam smṛtam viṣayendriya-saṁyogād
pariṇāme viṣam tat sukham rājasam smṛtam viṣayendriya-saṁyogād viṣayendriya-saṁyogād jattat agre amṛta-upamam pariṇāme viṣayamiva tat sukhaṁ rājasam smṛtam
viṣayendriya-saṁyogād tad agre mṛtopamam pariṇāme viṣamiva tad sukham rājasam smṛtam. Viṣayendriya-saṁyogād yatat agre mṛtopamam pariṇāme viṣamiva
tat sukham rājasam smṛtam.
Okay, so we are reading now the word for word. Viṣaya, of the objects of the senses. Indriya, and the senses. Saṁyogāt, from the combination. Yat, which. Tat, that. Agre, in the beginning. Amṛta-upamam, just like nectar. Pariṇāme, at the end. Viṣam iva, like poison. Tat, that. Sukham, happiness. Rājasam, in the mode of passion. Smṛtam is considered. So, translation and a purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. That happiness, we can repeat again, that happiness which is derived from contact of the senses with their objects, and which appears like nectar at first, but poison at the end, is said to be of the nature of passion. So now we read the purport of Prabhupada, very short, but very powerful. So, a young man and a young woman meet, and the senses drive the young man to see her, to touch her, and to have sexual intercourse. In the beginning, it may be very pleasing to the senses, but at the end, or after some time, it becomes just like a poison. They are separated, or there is divorce, there is lamentation, there is sorrow, etc. Such happiness is always in the mode of passion. Happiness derived from a combination of the senses and the sense objects is always a cause of distress and should be avoided by all means. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Ajnanatirmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Staptitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Pada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dīnabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadatara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nama Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Dashitarine Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Yes, we are back to the verse. Viṣayendriya-saṁyogād yattat agre mṛtopamam pariṇāme viṣamiva tat sukham rājasam smṛtam. So, viṣaya, the objects of senses, and indriya is senses, saṁyogāt, the combination. Yeah? So then it said that the happiness which is derived from such kind of situation, when the senses and the objects of senses are met, feels nice, but actually it is a poison. And viṣaya and viṣa, viṣaya is objects of senses, something we want to enjoy. With eyes, we want to look at the beautiful form. With ears, we want to hear some sweetness also. And with our skin, we want to touch. So this is viṣaya. So what is the result of such kind of contact is viṣa, which is poison. So viṣaya and viṣa, the objects of senses and the poison, come from the same root. So that's why Prabhupada says in the end of the purport, as a concluding words, it should be avoided by all means. One reason, on a very basic, that we don't taste that poison, that we are happy life. Yeah, that is one reason. But actually, the ultimately reason is why. What is that poison? One is okay, girlfriend left, boyfriend a little bit crying, and then like this. So that's not the actual reason why we should avoid these kind of situations. But actual reason is because the poison is that we forget about the ultimate goal of life. That's actual poison. That's why in 15th chapter, verse 22, which is one of my favorite verses, there is advice also. This is not for humans to engage in this viṣaya interactions and then take viṣa as a drink at the end, because that's what is a result of it. It produces that. What am I saying? 15. It's chapter 5, and so there is a suggestion what humans should do instead of drinking poison. What they should do. Yeah. So then it is said, suggested by Rishabhdev, my dear sons, there is no reason to labor very hard for sense pleasure while in this human form of life. There is no reason to labor very hard while in this human life for sense pleasure. Such pleasures are available to stool-eater hogs. To anyone it's available. So why human has to do like a hog? Why human has to do like a dog? Why human has to do like a cat? Let all this be for them. For humans it's something different. It said, rather you should undergo penances in this life by which your existence will be purified. And as a result, you will be able to enjoy unlimited transcendental bliss. So here, and in many other places, Srila Prabhupada, and here is from Bhagavatam, it said that some kind of tapasya, some kind of austerity actually purifies us, purifies the heart, purifies the mind. And what is the result? One enjoy the transcendental bliss. So what is that purification? What is that tapasya? What is it? That is actually to control the senses, to control this indriya. What means to control the senses? To keep them away from viṣaya, to keep them away from sense object. Because this body, the mind, any kind of sense body, mind is also a sense, they will strive for some object. They will strive for it. So in a human form of life, human has a capacity to stop it, to cut it, to say, finish, not anymore. Yeah? So then what will happen? The purification will come and one will enjoy the ultimate transcendental bliss. So what does it mean? How to understand this enjoyment of ultimate transcendental bliss? And how is that connected with austerity? How is that connected with purification? So when we engage in some kind of austerity like that, meaning controlling the senses, keeping them separate from sense objects, not just out of some dry understanding, but actual correct understanding, actual having correct knowledge of sambandha, what is our situation here in this world. When we perform such kind of restriction in a full knowledge, then the actual purification, real purification is coming. What is this purification? This is a purification from lower modes of nature, rajas and tamas. So then we raise to the sattva guna, which is also mixed with some raja and some tama. But when we purify further, then fully rajas and tamas are taken away, and it becomes shuddha sattva, pure goodness, which is not mixed. And in that kind of pure goodness, one can enjoy the transcendental bliss. So it is said that every living entity, everybody, each of you, believe it or not, you actually are in prema for Krishna, love of God. But because this prema is covered by rajaguna, instead of feeling prema, you feel attraction to the material world. And if it's covered by tamaguna, instead of prema, you feel anger. This is described in Bhagavad Gita. So the real purification to full removal of rajas and tamas is experiencing prema, which is this transcendental bliss, which we just read in that verse 522. So this is the purpose of austerity. Otherwise, austerity is also performed in the material world. You know? Any animal also does austerity. Cat want to catch the mouse. What is doing? He finds a hole. He saw the mouse is there. He smells confirmation. So what he's sitting whole day while the mouse come out. And mouse knows cat is sitting and not coming out. But the cat is still sitting while mouse finally decide, okay, actually really have to go out, how long I can sit? And as soon as mouse comes out, cat catch her. No? So how this cat, how long sitting? 1 hour, 2 hours sitting for that. I have seen personally, my grandmother's countryside, one cat is sitting and there is a hole. No, he's waiting. For what? That he can eat the crunchy mouse. No? He wants to eat it. So this is his tapasya. The same anything else. So much, even people, material world, so much hard working. For what? Earning big house, student wants to become topper in a university for what? Actually not even understanding subject, just memorizing the equations and stuff and then become topper without any actual understanding. So some tapasya, it's natural. To attain something, it is natural to perform tapasya. It is not even natural, it is required. You cannot attain anything, just a simple thing. You want to eat a biscuit, you need to go to shop. Or better than going to shop is to bake yourself. You have to have some work. So best to perform some effort to attain this transcendental bliss. That's what we should perform tapasya for. So, and tapasya means to restrict the senses. So that's why Srila Prabhupada says, therefore, those who are true yogis or learned transcendentalists are not attracted by sense pleasure, which are the causes of continuous material existence. The more one is addicted to material pleasures, the more he is entrapped by material miseries. Because anything we do for our sense pleasure, we get entangled in this material world. And that means material miseries. Because entanglement in this material world, it's a misery. Because it's a prison house. How do we expect to get something good out of prison? Okay, prisoner was in prison house for 20 years and he already forgot that he is in prison house. Anything little he will get one new blanket or some sunshine through his window. Oh, so nice, it is so nice here. But actually he is in the prison. That is the real situation. Yeah? So we should never forget the real situation of this material world. It is a prison house, we heard it many times, but what good thing about this is, because this prison house is created by Krishna through his energies, he made it also a very sweet way out of it. And in Srimad Bhagavatam is described that this whole material world is paraphernalia to worship the Lord. So this is how we should see the world. And then Maya immediately goes. Anything we see in this world is a paraphernalia to worship Krishna. For now we know paraphernalia is arti. No? We do the arti and there is a tali, there is some items. This is a Lord's place, we keep in a Lord's room. We wash and we respect each paraphernalia. We respect the bell, we respect the conch. So in such same way, anything in this material world is a paraphernalia to worship the Lord. And if we do it, there is no Maya, and if we don't do it, it's Maya. Because otherwise we will use it for worshipping our own senses. So then Maya becomes. It is very simple like that to talk. Yeah? But it's easy to also execute, because in devotional service, we engage all these things in the spiritual activities, and we immediately become liberated. And especially if we do it without interruption. That's why it is said that even though the senses are like snakes, and we should be avoiding snake, nobody wants to go near the snake. Yeah? We were recently preparing some decoration for Govardhan retreat near Jatipura, and we were doing some painting work. And there were some pots, matkas to paint. And one Mataji lifted matka and was snake there. And she didn't realize it was small snake like this. She thought, oh, I thought it's a rope. And so here we see that Prabhupada's analogy is true, no? Mistaking the rope as a snake and the snake as a rope. Usually we think the rope is a snake, but this time we thought the snake is a rope, no? But actually it was snake. So everybody was scared very much. Oh, snake, snake, snake in a room. Now suddenly one snake comes. Yeah? It's scary. We don't want to be with snakes. It's dangerous. So the same consciousness for transcendentalists, we don't want to be engaging with senses because it's dangerous. But the only child will be scared of a snake if the poisonous tooth is pulled out. For the Vaishnava, there is no danger because Vaishnava knows that everything is for the pleasure of the Lord. And there is no need to be scared of snake without a poisonous tooth. Only less intelligent people will be scared like that. So when we engage in full devotional service, without interruption, without motivation, then the Maya it's not there. Actually, Maya is not there at all. Maya is only in our mind. Maya is only in our desire to enjoy. But actually, Maya is not, because the definition of Maya is that which is not. So there is no Maya. We created Maya in our mind. So, as I said just before we started this thought, every jiva is having already love of God. We already love God. We already have prema. It is something that we have to attain or work very hard to attain. You know, cat has to work hard to get a mouse because it's not his. It is separate from the cat. But prema is not separate from us. It is already us with us. It is our nature. It is like, I am having these hands. I am born with these hands. I don't have to do something in life to get hands or to get eyes. It is come natural together already by birth. So the same jiva is not come about in existence by birth. It is naturally, it's existing eternally from the without beginning, without end. So the prema in jiva is also from the beginning, with no beginning and with no end. Therefore, we have it also at this particular moment. The problem is that rajas and tamas are covering it. So it's not that we have to attain the sun. Sun is already there. We have to remove the cloud. From where? From sun? No, from our eyes. So we have to, and what does it mean in a practical life? The consciousness has to be to see the whole world as a paraphernalia for worshipping Krishna. Whatever object is in our hands we see, this we have to engage in the service of Krishna and nothing for ourselves. And that's why Prabhupada said all these things has to be avoided by all means. And especially here he talks about the boy and girl relationship. It is just a momentarily attraction, momentarily desire to be together, and then there is a separation or divorce, and it's a big lamentation, suffering. Sometimes even people want to die because they think there is nothing else left in my life. So it's a big problem, especially in this kind of context. So then, why Krishna says sex according religious principle, it's me? If it is said here, it is passion, it is a poison, we have to avoid. Because what we read here, it is not according religious principle. The religious principle means that we perform religion, that we arrange that marriage life for performing the religion. Then that is, Krishna says, him. So there are, like we have different classifications of anything, different categories. There are 6 classifications of marriages. Yeah? 3 are demoniac and 3 are divine. So the divine ones are when the first class is when the parents arrange a suitable match for a boy and a girl, which is becoming more and more rare, but there are still very beautiful couples in our ISKCON society, which marriages have been arranged, and then they are already in their 60s or 70s, and they stay together, and they see each other as a servant of the Lord, and they serve the Lord together and each other also. So the second type is when there is some suggestion from the, for example, girl. She suggests, like we know, for example, Devahuti. She was attracted to Kardama Muni while she sometimes saw him. So she suggested to her parents, and then marriage was arranged. So that's another type. This is also considered a divine marriage. And the third type of divine marriage is when the girl is given as a dakshina to a brahmana boy. That is also a divine marriage. And like we saw in pastime of Sakshi Gopal, yeah, when a young boy was so nicely serving the elderly brahmana, an elderly brahmana so much was appreciating the good qualities of the boy, and he was convinced that this type of boy will be very nice for his daughter to take care of her. So then he, as a gratitude for the boy's service, promised the girl. So as if given, this may be not exactly like dakshina. Dakshina is more like when a priest comes and maybe at home and he performs some yagya, or he is very highly qualified. So like this, but the closest to it, I thought of the Sakshi Gopal pastime. So these are three divine marriages. And to my understanding, this is what Krishna is referring, that this type of combination is me, is him. So then there are three types of demoniac marriages. One is when the girl is kidnapped. So this is some practices also there in the world. Maybe I'm not sure if now it's happening, but I met actually the couple. They were from Georgia. This is some, I don't even know if it is Europe or Asia. It's some country, small country just on the east from Europe, and they are like a mountain people, like a kshatriya a little bit. So he snatched the girl, and he actually stole her. And because this is, at that time still there was also some, although it's far from India, and maybe actual culture may not be there, but still some remains were there. So because he had kidnapped her, they had to get married, but that was their purpose, because they liked each other, so they were happy. So, and we know that this type of kidnapping, it's has been common also in the bygone ages. Like if we know the countries like Norway or maybe Sweden, I don't know, but there are these, there used to live these Vikings, like a kind of degraded people, but still they were a warrior type. So then they were also going around, crossing the sea to other countries and stealing the girls from those countries. So this is, and of course we know that Krishna stole Rukmini, but we cannot consider that as a demoniac marriage, because whatever Krishna is doing, it is neither divine nor demoniac, because it is his lila and it is his pastime. Although, just for the sake of example, we can bring it up as well. So then another, as you see, as I'm listing this type of divine and demoniac, it is kind of going from higher to lower. So the best of demoniac marriages is this stealing one. So then the next one, which is lower than that, it is when the persons get together just on the base of attraction. So this is what is described here. So this is demoniac marriage, and this is what we see going 99.9% in this world, everywhere. Someone gets attracted, and then they decide, yes, let's do it. And senior devotees describe it that the only authority in this is a mind. Yeah? There is no other authority followed. It's just, its only authority is a mind. So then, that result also comes here. From viṣaya comes viṣa. And the only worse than this, the last demoniac marriage, the worst, I could not even actually find any example from that. Only the thing that is worse than this individual attraction and taking authority of mind is when the candidates for marriage are intoxicated and they don't understand what they're doing. That is the last. Yeah, so this was basically, we can see that the divine ones are in kind of, we can say, goodness, and the demoniac ones are in passion, and the last one is naturally in ignorance. So here we can see that this passion and ignorance always brings some misery, and the goodness may bring some happiness. But because in material world the goodness is still mixed with some passion and ignorance, it also gives suffering for the person. So this suffering, often we perceive it coming from some kind of external cause. Or this person did something to me, that's why I am suffering, it is his fault. Or that person did this to me, or that's his fault, that's why I am suffering. It's even written in Shastra that there is adhyatmika, adhidavika, adhibhotika. So from that one I am suffering. If that one wasn't here, I would not suffer. But Srimad Bhagavatam says that neither any of persons, nor any of planets, not even our karma is the cause of our suffering. Because sometimes we say, I'm so much suffering. It's my karma. Oh yeah, I'm suffering because Rahu is there, and now I am in some kind of Ketu also came, and now Saturn is going through, so I'm suffering so much. Yeah, I'm suffering. But actually, not even any person, because we think we may be intelligent. Okay, he was harsh to me because my planet is saying that was something. Or it's my karma because last year I gave him some problem, or last lifetime I slapped him, now he's slapping me. Now I know the cause of my suffering. But actually, none of the people, none of the planets, none of the demigods, and not even our own karma is the cause of the suffering. The only cause of the suffering is our mind. And mind makes us perceive things in a certain way. It's a Srimad Bhagavatam saying. So mind, doesn't matter what our planets are, doesn't matter what people say to us, doesn't matter what our karma is. It's up to mind how we see it. Because there are 8 types of seers, how we see the world. It's also described in Bhagavatam. Someone stole my chadar. I could say, person was so cold, he felt cold. Now he took a chadar. I'm so happy he could get my chadar. He's such a good person because he had a knife. He could kill me. But he was so kind. He only took chadar. He did not even harm me. Yeah, one could see like that. One could see things like this. And someone says, stole my chadar, look at him, I have to call police, and police is not doing anything, just sitting there, not even bothered that my chadar is gone. Where should I go? This world is completely unjust. Now I don't have chadar. What I will do, winter is coming. So it's a mind which makes us suffering. And especially the knowledge as a devotees that our karma is not automatic anymore. It is selected by Krishna. So anything that comes on our way, we could see, Krishna personally chose it. No? Krishna personally chose, someone hit me. Oh, wow, that was chosen by Krishna. Why Krishna do that? First, he's independent, he can do whatever he wants. When Nimai destroyed the Sachimata's house, what did Sachimata say? This is your house. You can do whatever you want. Now someone hit me, Krishna did this is Krishna's body. He can do whatever he wants. And he personally did this. So if we really love someone, and someone personally does something to us, and it's Krishna, who is the best of lovers, he did this to me. It is so sweet. Then everything becomes so sweet. And why Krishna sometimes does these things to us? Why boys pull the hair of the girl in a school? They want attention. So Krishna wants our attention. So sometimes he may give us something, and he's a naughty boy, he can't do things straight. Like all the boys, the girls will maybe sit, but the boys, hardly anyone will sit. So he likes adventure. So once we surrender to him, he plays with us. So when we see like this, that my beautiful boy personally did something to me, then everything becomes so sweet. So then it's a mind. When we don't see Krishna, it's a mind which creates suffering in this world. So therefore, first of all, we have to understand the real position. There is no connection with me and this material world. There is no connection. There is a beautiful verse. Those who are doing deity worship, they know it. It's called Bhuta Shuddhi prayer. One we know, Naham Vipra Nachanara Patir, but there is another English one which says, by nature I am eternal servant of Krishna, but because of some bad fortune I've been inimical towards him, and thus I've been suffering in this material world. But now, by the mercy of my spiritual master, I'm able to engage in his service, and I'm able to understand that I'm an eternal spiritual soul, completely apart from this gross and subtle body. So this should be our prayer, this should be our conviction. I have nothing to do with this body and this mind, completely apart. There are several verses that in Bhagavad Gita mention the word lipyate. Na lipyate. No, lipyate means mixing. Yeah, like mix. You add atta, you add water, and then you mix, and then you make pancake. Nah? But soul is na lipyate, not mixing. Like when you put oil and water, not mixing. You put oil in a milk, ghee in the milk, it's not mixing. So the soul is not mixing with the mind. Soul is not mixing with the body. So, and it is me, completely apart from the body and completely apart from the mind. So what am I doing when I found it out? I'm engaging in the service of Radha and Krishna. This is what I'm doing. And this body is dragging her with me, so well, okay, we'll do the senses, we'll engage in seva. So like that, completely apart. So this vision should be there. So then Prabhupada says, in order to advance in spiritual life, we should be somewhat pessimistic about this world. We should be somewhat pessimistic, because if we have a hope in this material world, then we actually cannot advance. Even Bhaktivinoda Thakur in Harinam Chintamani, he says that those who are not having that pessimism of this world, meaning that our connection with this world and how we will live here nicely, they actually cannot chant Shuddha Nam. They only can chant Nam Bas. And then the Nam Bas will give them all these things. It's described in Harinam Chintamani. Nam Bas will give me free from my sins. It will remove my diseases. It will give me the nice life. It will give me the happiness. It will give me the liberation. And when we start chanting from Nama Parada, so much suffering, no taste, no nothing, suddenly we advance a little bit and we chant Nam Bas and we think, wow, yes, look at me, now I am happy. Now I'm no diseases. It works. I'm now become maybe pure devotee. Yes, but this is Nam Bas. Because Shuddha Nam actually gives so much anxiety in your life. You only cry and cry and cry and cry for Krishna. Like we say, Raghunath Das Goswami. It said, we know he was only eating one chach dona every second day. You think he was very healthy and jolly and like this? No, he was skinny. He was emaciated. And his eyes were continuously full of tears because of separation. So this is what is our goal. And in that state, where is suffering in the material world? We don't even feel the suffering. So therefore, to attain that state, that to be able to take shelter of Shuddha Nam, to be able to invite that Shuddha Nam, the independent name on our tongue, we have to understand that I am completely apart from this gross and subtle body. I have nothing to do with this. I have actually nothing to do with this material world. Okay, I'm seeing this object, I'm engaging them for Krishna's service only. But me and them, there's no connection really, apart of that fact that I'm engaging in them in Krishna's service. Otherwise, Nam Bas, yes, it is described as the best of pious activities. You cannot find more pious activities than Nam Bas. So we should not also get bewildered that, oh yes, now bas, and it gives me so much happiness in my life. Now finally I'm settled. Now finally I'm okay. But we should not be satisfied with that. The only we can progress, like Prabhupada says, when we are somewhat pessimistic about this material world. Somewhat pessimistic. And this type of pessimism will open our hearts to cry for the Lord. Because it is also described in the second canto, the devotional service, the change of heart, it's second chapter. I think, I have now forgot the second chapter again. Devotional service, the change of heart. It says that if by chanting the holy name, your heart doesn't change, it is still framed. But what does it mean, change of heart? It doesn't mean just, oh, I was an accountant, my heart changed, now I became pujari. Or I was a pujari, my heart changed and I became a sweeper. Or I was an angry man and my heart changed and now I became a happy man. Or I was like this and now I became like this. This is not the change of heart they're talking about. The change of heart is that it becomes very soft. And what is it, soft heart? Oh, puppy. Oh, beggar, child, let him give this. Okay. But this is not the softness of the heart which we are talking about. The softness of the heart is that when we hear the holy name, it trembles. It melts and it creates some kind of emotion. So if that's happening in our lives, it means we are going in the right direction. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur says it cannot happen if we are still thinking that this material world is something good for us. So it means that we are still keeping our viṣaya somewhere in the center of our life. But Prabhupada said it has to be avoided by all means. Hare Krishna. Please say your words now. Hare Krishna. Yes, very good. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Very nice. I hope it's not Nam Bas, it's Shuddhanam. Yes, please say something. Yes, Mataji.
Question.
Yes.
So you were talking about using everything as paraphernalia for worshipping Krishna. So sometimes when we see something somewhat negative, maybe like, say like disturbing noises or like maybe that's not favorable for devotional service, like, you know, like movies or something like that, right? So when we see that, like maybe our immediate thought is that, oh, this is a disturbance, or like, you know, this is harsh or something like that. So how can we understand, like, you know, in that situation, how can we think that this I can use as a paraphernalia?
Yeah, of course there are unfavorable things that we have to avoid. Like we will not start thinking that wine is a very nice paraphernalia for worshipping Krishna. Yeah, so this is according Shastra. We have to see unfavorable things, prajalpa, we should avoid. But anything else and sinful activity, we should engage. For example, even noise. Like I was staying when I just had come to Vrindavan, and my windows were just on the Parikrama Marg. So up to 11 o'clock, beep, 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 beep. So I was thinking, how I will sleep, and I was a little bit disturbed. Or I was thinking, I'm not sure if I can manage to live in this place. So then, I heard one class, how to do bhajan in Vrindavan. And the first thing it was said, to overcome dualities of Vrindavan. The heat, the cold. We should not be hiding away from these things. So how to see the noise? So then they were saying, like when dogs are, oh, doing? So it's disturbing. Of course, we also know that Prabhupada sometimes asking his disciples to stop the dogs because he has to write. But in that class it is mentioned that these dogs are doing Sankirtan. You know, like around 5 o'clock, there is one man doing parikrama, and he's always doing Radhe, Radhe. He's chanting very loudly. And believe it or not, as soon as he passes by Banki Bihari area, all the dogs come and start doing oh with him together. And when he passes by, they stop and they sit down and they don't do anything. And every time is like this. It's not just once or twice. And when one time I was also doing parikrama at that early time, and I didn't see the man, I didn't hear the man yet, but I was there near Banka Bihari and I could see that all the dogs are starting to stand up and starting to make their singing sound. And then I said, oh, the man must be coming. So I waited a little, and yes, and he was just coming. I already didn't hear him, and I was not able to hear him yet, but because dogs have different senses, they could hear him from farther, and they already were doing. So like that, and then I thought, okay, I can understand dogs are living entities, they're doing Sankirtan, because in Vraj everybody is glorifying Radha Krishna. What to speak about the honking? So then I thought, this must be the Wampers in a Kirtan. So then I thought, okay, I like the horns. And then another thought that, you know, cowherd boys, they blow the horn. So our cowherd boys here also blow the horn. So it's a tradition of Braj to blow the horn. So we can see, and then I was sharing this with one devotee. Oh yeah, we should connect everything with Krishna in that way. And then we were just in rickshaw when I was saying this, and rickshaw was going to some bumpy road, and we were all like shaking like this. So and then she said, look, it's so terrible. How to connect this to the Lord? And there was one senior devotee sitting in a rickshaw also. She said, Manasi Ganga. And then they were like a boat passed them on Manasi Ganga. The Krishna is shaking the boat, and we were all in ecstasy shaking in that rickshaw. It was so nice. So like that, we can always remember the Lord in some way. Like Prabhupada said that if the bomb is coming to me, the black bomb is coming, Krishna is coming. No? So, like that. Yes. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki